You have to understand, to get to that version of you, you're going to have to overcome, you're going to have to become the version to overcome the resistances that make you contract. So you have to understand that you're either feeding your discoherencies and you are cohering to negative outcomes by, indulging in the negative habits, by not reflecting on that pussy of a bitch in the mirror and then moving accordingly to fix some shit. You have to understand that every day you wake up and there are resistances and problems in your life, and to actively neglect and to not look in the mirror and understand that you 100% have control to become the solution and to become that version of you that's going to solve all those problems is to remain a little bitch. So it's very fucking simple. To become the best version of you is to go out and to overcome the things that is keeping you stuck in that lower version. You have to understand that, the things that keep you stuck in that lower version is what's keeping you stuck in slowing down your evolution. And so it's not, why am I not evolving? You have to understand that the only reason you're not evolving is because you put your time and energy into things that keep you at that low level. The moment you rid the negative habits, the evolution is it's self-exuding. It just does its own thing. It just naturally compounds. You just naturally enter flow states and you just naturally flow in the direction of being the best you. But every time you put your time and energy into what keeps you a little bitch, that keeps you a weak fuck, that keeps you a poor fucking bastard, those things, every time you indulge in the porn, the drink, those things are keeping you at a fucking low level. So if you want to get to a higher level, overcome the things that are making you fall short. Overcome the things that are keeping you stuck in that same old loop that is keeping you at being the lowest version of you. It's very fucking simple. If you want to get better, remove everything that is keeping you worse. Everyone thinks it's a fucking, it's a complex math problem, or everyone thinks that, becoming the best version of you is some impossible task. All you have to do is rid the things that are keeping you stuck in that samsara cycle of a low-level piece of shit. All you have to do is drop the snack, look in the mirror, accept the fact that it is what it is, and do everything to decimate that individual. And if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. But remember, you're going to die, that low-level bitch, unless you make a change. Nothing is going to naturally fall in place. You're going to have to force it to work your way, or it's not going to fucking work. It's not like, the world is going to bestow what you want out of life to you and give you what you want out of life. No, you're going to have to go and earn that shit, and you do that by overcoming what is keeping you weak, and then you keep moving in the direction that is best for you. It's very fucking simple. All you need is mental clarity and mental navigation to navigate you to the outcomes that you want. If you are suffering in life, it's most likely because you lack mental clarity and you don't know where the fuck you're going. And so you have to wake up with the intention to rid the negative things, and through that you will gain mental clarity. It's all about mental clarity and building up momentum to overcome. You have to understand that life is basically a game of problem solving, and if you get really good at solving your problems, you have a really good life. Everything is a problem, if you look at it like that. If you don't have the money you want, that's a fucking problem. If you don't have the body you want, that's a fucking problem. If you don't have the audience you want, that's a fucking problem. If you don't have the personal brand you want, that's a fucking problem. And then you kick into this gear of, I'm going to solve my problems, and you become this problem-solving fucking machine. You have to understand that there's problem solvers and there's problem creators. Now, if you're a problem creator, your life is most likely going to reflect that shit. So if you're a problem solver, your life is definitely going to reflect that shit. And so if you want to figure out if you're a problem solver or a problem creator, look at your life, or matter of fact, look in the mirror, and if that shit isn't a fucking problem to you, well, guess what? That shit's gonna remain, you're gonna remain that stagnant, low-level bitch, and you're never gonna attract what you want out of life because you didn't love yourself enough to wake up, to count the macros, to hit the workout, and to actually improve as an individual physically, mentally, and spiritually. When you train your mind to work out, you are disciplining your mind, you are telling your mind that this is what you want to do and you're going to do it, and you are training your mind to be at a higher level, to operate at higher levels, to discipline yourself. So when you work out, you're not just evolving physically, you're also evolving mentally. And when you evolve mentally, you also get a closer connection to God. When you ask for strength and you say, this is how I'm going to be stronger, and then you do that every single fucking day, you gain a closer connection to source. You are drawing upon source for strength, and you are using that shit. But most of you guys don't want to pursue the maximum and become the maximus. You're just going to remain a delirious primate and do the worst you can. And you're going to do it, but you're going to do it at the lowest fucking level. So when you do it at the lowest fucking level, don't be surprised when it's just another task. It's another chore of your life. You have to understand that you're supposed to enter the flow state, and you're only gonna enter the flow state when you go the limit, when you go past your fucking limitation, when you do the max every day. That's how you're gonna get past your limitation. That's how you're gonna surpass your current level, is by maxing out. But if you're not gonna max out, you're not gonna enter any flow state. It's gonna be another chore, and you're gonna have to force yourself to do it, and it's gonna fucking suck. So what separates, working out and disciplining yourself from being a chore is the flow state in between. And the only way you'll gain flow state is if you're really into it. You got your music bumping, you got your fucking pre-workout fucking all up in your system, and you're going for the next max. And then you're doing it every fucking week until you watch yourself grow as an individual, until you discipline yourself and you watch yourself grow mentally, spiritually. You have to understand that when you discipline your mind, discipline is a metaphysical culmination of energy. When you have this discipline, you can direct this discipline into overcoming your addiction. You can direct this discipline into overcoming what is keeping you weak. Discipline is a energetic culmination of willpower. When you direct your discipline into endeavors such as goal achieving, you have to understand that you're going to be at a better and higher level than everyone around you, because you have cultivated and culminated a certain level of discipline that is not seen by the common eye. So you have to understand that if you want to grow in a certain area and you want to be, excruciatingly different, you want to be distinguished, you want to be so unique and so much above the average individual in that endeavor, you have to understand that discipline is the key to that door. But if you don't have any fucking discipline, well, the people who are disciplined are going to outwork you, because they're going to get up when you want to stay down. They're going to get up out of bed when you want to stay in bed. They're going to get up and put in the work you don't want to put in when they don't want to put it in, but they do it anyways, because guess what? That's what the fuck discipline is. So understand that if you want to get to that next level, you're going to have to cultivate discipline. And to cultivate discipline is to do what you don't want to do. And the best way to do that is to go to the gym and get a fucking workout in, because you're fat as shit, you're weak as fuck, and you only live once. And to not, I believe Aristotle said, to not see the strength of your own body, to not see the beauty of your own soul, physically, in your lifetime is very fucking disappointing. So if Aristotle says it's disappointing to not see the best version of you in that mirror, well, guess what? It's very fucking disappointing. So guys, join the self-development community. Everything made very simple. How to track your macros, very simple. How to bulk, how to cut, very fucking simple. How to get a workout in, very simple. We have just everything you need to be a better individual. So go into the link in the description and check it out. Peace!